hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me.
Hello everybody and welcome to another patch from Marvel Heroes 2015. This one is a very exciting patch once again, and particularly this one is 1.27 and features, amongst many other things, the release of Magneto. Now, I've been doing the testing videos over the last couple of weeks showing his powers and all that kind of cool stuff, but he has finally been released on live, and in addition, our new special event, or rather repeat special event, is the return of the Guardians of the Galaxy event. So this is the one where we get to collect the Planet X bark. Now, the thing is, there's a couple of issues for this. First, it's back because of the release of Guardians of the Galaxy on DVD. And second, you'll be getting one per login each day that the event is active. And what you need to do is log in, and it'll appear in your inventory, log out, and then log back in, and then the Planet X bark is going to be in your inventory. So you can see I've got one right there. In addition, one thing to note that's very important is this is the last time we will ever see the Planet X bark. So make certain that you spend it. The way that we spend it now is actually by going to Groot in Avengers Tower. So I'm just going to hop over there while I go over some of the other stuff. We do see the release of the Spider-Woman team-up as well. I did show her in the testing as well. And you can go and check out my my Twitch broadcasts so that you can see all of the testing. You can see all of the powers for Magneto and all that good stuff. So anyway, here's Groot. And you can see he's got some pretty cool stuff. The ghost boxes are actually fairly decent, all things considered. Not great, but you know, decent at least. And then you've got the loot explosion that includes guaranteed unique, or the ever so sought after mysterious crimson box that contains the very sought after artifacts, primarily from the bosses. So there's that, and then there are actually a decent number of changes for new players as well. I did mention those during the testing, and one thing that is also now active is our mutation tab, or rather the mutation Omega system tab, and all of the Omega points have been given a free retcon, so you'll be able to reallocate those. Oh, excuse me, as you see fit. Now, going to the prologue, there are actually some really nice changes to this as well. Chief amongst them is a much easier way of getting around and being able to see and interact with everything and knowing what to do, where to go, how to do it, all that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through this partially. So you can see here that a good portion of this is actually blocked off now, whereas before it wasn't. And incidentally, one thing that you'll see all over the maps now are the things that look like they're doors. They are not actually doors, though, so I'm not entirely certain what they're there for. But either way, we have a much more streamlined experience here for this particular part, at least. And then whenever we go to the actual Stark Tower for the prologue portion, then there are a couple of things that will help out new players there as well, particularly with the fact that now, if you do not own all of the starter characters, you can actually play all of them up to level 10 for free regardless. So this little thing right here is the little help terminal, and it tells you how to swap between heroes. So that way people can see and they can try out all of the different heroes, or at least all the different starters right from the get-go. And then if they decide to purchase those heroes, their progress is saved on each one. So it's actually a pretty awesome little thing to have there. I'm pretty excited by it. I know that the newer players have needed a good deal more help, and it's definitely something that is, well, it is hand-holding. It's not bad hand-holding, so I'm definitely happy with it. In addition, for new players, we also have the, instead of doing the 200 splinters after the prologue and 200 splinters after defeating Dr. Doom, you get 400 Eternity Splinters for your Day 2 login, and not only that, but now if you have been playing up until this point, you actually just straight up get an additional 200. I was actually super greedy and I already opened mine up, but you can see I've got a whole ton of them. I used to have 800 and 900 51. Either way, that is neither here nor there. One of the biggest things, arguably the biggest thing for this patch, so actually I'm sorry, well, while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and hop into Midtown just for fun, just to get some gameplay. But either way, one of the biggest changes, the overall changes for this patch, is a general tuning pass on all of the heroes. So what this essentially was fixing a lot of the tags for the damages, and a lot of signatures and ultimates and charge powers, a bunch of range powers were improperly tagged, and thus they were doing the incorrect amounts of damage. So that's all been fixed now, and on top of that, whenever tuning changes will be done from here on in, apparently it's going to be a much more streamlined process. So several heroes who were fairly heavily affected, amongst others were Squirrel Girl and Luke Cage and Psylocke and Cyclops as well. Both Doctor Strange and Rogue with the Fangs of Farala got adjusted during the tuning pass to better accommodate both of them in the unique way that they use the power. Just a whole bunch of different heroes. You can see all of them in the patch notes, so no worries there. But other than that, not really a whole lot. I'm sure that you all have seen the new login screen. That is now going to be the go-to login screen because, you know, before we had the lineup from Guardians of the Galaxy, and then before that we had the Surtur one, and kept going back to Surtur essentially. So now we just have the Avengers Tower, and that's going to be sort of the standard place filler unless any event is appropriate for having a new one. So no worries there. Obviously a bunch of bug fixes, which are always nice to see, and plenty of stuff still to come. We do still have achievements on the way, still planned for within the calendar year. Obviously it's getting pretty close, but you know, no worries there, hopefully. One thing that's very, very exciting, X-23 is actually on the way already. Her planned release is for next week, and she will be on the test center this weekend. I'm going to try to do a stream for it, but unfortunately I have to leave for the weekend to go to my grandmother's funeral. So we'll see if I can make it and do a quick stream when I get back. But I by no means have any guarantees for it. And the other thing is both Venom and Hulk's 52 review are also on the way and due to come out just before the Christmas holiday as well. And on that note, there's going to be a ton of free stuff and a brand new holiday event for the game, so very, very exciting, and just a bunch of stuff on the way. Hopefully we will figure out at some point what all of these doors mean, because it is just weird at this point right now. So with that, I'll go ahead and finish up with these bosses over here with my good buddy Magneto. Yes, he is my good buddy. And after that, I'll go head back to the tower and sign off. But before I do that, I'll just say enjoy Magneto, please. I had a wonderful time just in the testing with him. I had a really great time. One thing that I'm not really surprised by, but still a little bit saddened by, is the fact that he is fairly squishy, at least initially. Obviously, I haven't played him too much on the live server, but even so, he's a kind of glass cannon-y. For lack of a better term, which, you know, isn't super surprising based on the test center feedback and even what I found myself. But either way, just be careful with him. He'll treat you good if you treat him good, so no worries there. Alright, and with that, I'll head back to the Avengers Tower, enjoy patch 1.27, enjoy all of the tuning passes. I know that the vast majority of heroes got some kind of increase in damage at least, so hopefully that'll be very helpful for you all. And as always, go out, find those uniques, play the game, do whatever you want to do, but most importantly of all, simply have a wonderful time. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.
Lips as sweet as candy, its taste is on my